hit. And then the reason I chose Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back for another video. My name is Lauren. If you haven't been here before, I do a bunch of other videos like college related, a bunch of other stuff, but I am actually going to be doing the Disney college program in the fall, so I will obviously not be able to do college videos, and I'm going to be filming my journey, my experience, all of that. It's going to be all good. So I just want to make that little announcement, and then I also am going to be, hopefully I can get this done before I put this video up, because I want to make like an intro specifically for the Disney college program and not like my normal like video intro. It's like complicated. I haven't started on it, but yeah, that's that. Sorry if the lighting's like I'm brighter on this side and it's like, yeah. I'm like just got back home from college, so I'm trying to like play around with the lighting at home, and yeah, we'll see how this spot goes. But yeah, so start this video, I overall want to talk about my application process, my role, all that good stuff. So let's just go ahead and get started. So for the Disney college program, I applied. This is my first time applying. I've never applied ever before. I thought it went overall pretty good. Saying I was nervous is like an understatement, just because I've seen so many videos on how easily you can get per se eliminated, and I was like it sounds like you could get eliminated at any moment, the way some of the videos sounded. But I feel like mine went pretty good. I mean, obviously it went pretty good. I got in. So basically I started, so the day applications dropped, I was like, I didn't know. I think they had dropped like later in that evening, because like I was like monitoring the page, like waiting for them to say you can now apply and all that stuff. And I guess like they dropped later that day, and then when I woke up the next morning, they were up, and I was like, I just wanted to apply like on the very first day. But I applied the next morning. I did like the initial like basic general information stuff. I thought it's pretty easy. So they just asked like your legal name, where you go to school, very basic stuff. So for the second part is the web-based interview, and I got mine, I want to say that day. I want to say I got it within like maybe an hour. They said I could do mine. And I went in ahead and did that, and I thought it went pretty good. I didn't think it was really hard. There's definitely some questions that it's like, you know what Disney wants you to say. At the end of the day, like, I mean, be honest, and it's just kind of like, are you like this, or are you ever whatever, and when you're working in teams, how are all that kind of stuff. So I thought it went pretty good. I felt like it was pretty easy, and then within, like, as soon as I got that done, I was like so nervous taking that, because I've been watched so many videos on how people can get eliminated through like midway through, and they'll just be like, okay, thank you, or like say thank you, or like you just like answer the question and then it's like you're done. So I was so nervous taking it, but I got that done, and then they're like, all right, time to schedule a phone interview. And I was like, I don't want to, I think, because I had applied, I think it was like on a Wednesday, and then the next opening was a Friday. I was like, I want to give myself a little bit of time. So I scheduled mine for, I think it was a Monday, I want to say. Yeah, I think I scheduled mine for Monday, and I was extremely nervous. I say that you got to find like a good balance in videos to watch. I think there's nothing wrong with watching a little bit of videos on like what kind of questions to expect, because I was just like, I don't really know even what they're gonna ask me. So I was like, let me just look up a few videos. I definitely think you can over prepare yourself, because I think when you have too much of a perfect answer, I think you're so focused on answering it so perfectly, and I think it just kind of takes away from like you being like giving a genuine answer and it really being you and all that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to answer the question perfect, but I don't really think there's like a 100% perfect answer to all of it. But I had my phone interview, and like the lady knew within like 10 seconds I was nervous, because like she like said like, "Hi, this is whoever with the Disney College program. Is this Lauren?" And I immediately just answered phone. I was like, "Hi," like that awkward little hi. So I was just like, well, she knows I'm nervous. That's great. But yeah, she just asked me like at the very beginning. It's just like basic verification information. And at the beginning, you kind of feel like you're repeating yourself a lot, just because it's just general information that you either say yes or no to. So you're either like, "Oh, yes, ma'am," or "Yes, that's correct," or "Yes, sir," or things like that. And I was like, in my head, I was like, "You keep saying the same answer. Stop saying the same answer." But I mean, it's just very general at first, and then they get more into why you want to do it, why you think it's going to be good for you, the roles you put down. And I even had my interviewer tell me, like, "You didn't really put that many roles down." And like, I didn't say this out like on the phone, but I was just like, on the phone, I was just like, "Yeah, I didn't put a lot down." But in my head, I was like, I don't want to get in and I get a role I do not want. So I only put 3 roles down. I'll go over that in a second, which ones I put down. But I only put 3 down because I was like, I don't want to get something that A, I don't want, B, is not going to be beneficial for what I want to do in life. So I'm like, let me not put interest in every single role. And then I get something that I really don't want. And I'm kind of at the point of like, if I was to get in and I got something I really didn't want, I would be like, well, I got in on my like first time. I've wanted to do this. Like, I obviously wouldn't turn it down, but I'd just be like, this isn't what I want to do. So I only put down 3 roles. I don't feel bad because you don't put down interest in a lot of roles. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Sorry, I'm sitting like right near the front door to get the best lighting, and like I saw a car go by. But I don't think there's anything wrong with putting down not that many roles, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one doing the job. So don't put interest in something you don't want. I know there's going to be people who, I've seen so many videos where they say like, I put interest in every role and I think you should do that. But just because you put interest in every role doesn't guarantee you a spot in. Because while you may put interest in every single role, even if, say, your phone interview doesn't go well or you don't answer the questions right, you may have put interest in every role, but you didn't get in. Or say, like, for example, there are roles that have high volume. And I think it's kind of going to be a thing of like, if you put interest in roles that are really high volume, you're probably going to get that. And if you don't want to do that, I wouldn't put it down. That's just my personal opinion. I only put 3 roles down. I got in. You do what you want. I think you should definitely decide that decision on your own. But overall, with all the roles, I'd say my biggest advice with the roles is make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Really look into what the role is. I would say look at, obviously, their website on what they say the role actually is. Watch some videos on some people's experience, what they have to say about the role, just to get yourself a good idea of what you're getting yourself into. Obviously, there's stuff you can't expect and you can't plan out everything, but I think you should definitely like know what you're getting yourself into. So on to that. After that, I want to say, I tried to look up my time of how long my interview was. I think mine ended up being 14 minutes. And they tell you like to prepare yourself 15 minutes before, because it can obviously start 15 minutes early. But at the interview will most likely be no longer than 30 minutes or 20 minutes. It's either 20 or 30 minutes. I'm not too sure. But mine ended up being 14 minutes. I think. I have a whole nother like DCP tag video. If I say another number, go with that video. I think it's 14 minutes. But I definitely don't think the time of your interview matters. I think at the end of the day, as long as you're answering all the questions right, make sure, like people say, like smile with your eyes or voice or whatever. And I think it's a thing of like, because when you're smiling, you sound more enthusiastic. For me personally, I'm so nervous that when I'm nervous, I naturally smile. So I didn't have a problem with the smiling part. I couldn't stop smiling. So I didn't have an issue with that. I definitely would have like general information. I wrote down like a few questions that I thought they were going to ask me that I could see myself like, if they were to ask me this question, I could see myself going, well, like at the beginning, those are the only questions I wrote down. And turns out, I want to say they maybe asked me maybe 2 questions. And I think I had like a total of like 10 of them written down. So you really can't prepare yourself for what they're going to ask you for sure. But, of course, know like why you want to do this, all that kind of stuff. And then I would be for sure knowing about your roles, because that is going to be for my interview, personal experience, keep that in mind. For my interview, that was the, outside of general information, that was the big bulk of my interview, was asking questions specifically for the roles I had interest in. And my work experience was a big deal. So I'd say, I know some people get nervous because they don't have a whole lot of work experience. I wouldn't be super nervous about it per se. I would say just like, make sure if you're applying for, say, something that has like photography or things like that, make sure you can back up like why you'd be good at that. So onto the roles I applied for. So obviously after phone interview, I got in. I found out, because I applied at the very beginning because I was like, I just want to get it done and hopefully I find out very soon, because just the fact of like, you could apply and like it be a long time, or you were waitlisted or any, I was like, I just want to find out very quickly. So I was actually very lucky, and this does not happen. Let me tell you that now. I want to say, I know 2 people who did it, and then I asked like a couple other like DCP YouTubers, like on their Instagram. I asked them like, hey, how long did it take you to hear back? Like, what kind of advice do you have? And most, like all the like DCP YouTubers I asked, theirs was like a minute, but like the people I asked that I knew in person, theirs was like really quick. So I don't know how you can per se guarantee that. So for me, I ended up being very lucky in the sense of after 6 days after my phone interview, I was able to hear back and I got my congratulations and the whole you're in and things like that. So I was really thrilled. Most of the time, most people have told me it does not happen like that. Most of the time you end up waiting a couple of weeks, not barely a week. So I'd say if you're watching this in the future and you are currently waiting, I just say be patient. I don't want to tell you not to focus on it, because like honestly it's so hard to not think about it, especially when you really want it. But I heard back pretty quickly. So on to the next part is the 3 roles that I put down. So my top role was merchandise. My second role I think was PhotoPass, and then my third role was Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. And then I put down that I only had interest for the one in Florida. I did not want to go to California. And that's just simply because it costs more. And I live in Tennessee, for example. That's so much further to go to California than it is to go to Florida. So it just made more sense. And then for what I wanted to do was in Florida. So the reason I put those roles as my top pick is because, for example, let me tell you what I'm in school for. I think that should be a big factor in what you want to do with your life. I think you should definitely pick roles that are going to be beneficial for you. Just because like at the end of the day, it's experience and something that might help you along the lines. So for example, my major is fashion merchandising, and I have a double minor in entertainment, costume design, and advertising. So for me, merchandise was my top pick because, well, like at the end of the day, I don't want to work like in a retail store. Merchandise, retail, like that, just it works well. And then PhotoPass, the photography, learning about taking I don't know too much about photography, so like don't come after me in the comment section, but just in general, like having photography skills, being in fashion, that goes hand in hand. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, makeup, fashion, like it just, that's how I went about picking my roles. And that's why, part of the reason probably why I only had 3 is because these are the 3 that would be the most beneficial for me. Now, if I was open to doing, say, California, then I have, to be honest, I have a lot more options when it comes to costuming in California and thinking about it. But, you know, I'm just, do stuff that you think will be beneficial for you, stuff that you think you will enjoy. Don't put down a rule that you don't think you want. So, yeah, so that is overall my story. So I leave the very beginning of August. I'm so ready to get down there just because, like, I'm just ready to start. But because I live in Tennessee, I'm going to be driving, and it's about 11 hours and 45 minutes. So that's going to be fun. Obviously, I'm going to film, so you'll see that whole journey. And that's just 11 hours and 45 minutes without stopping. Like, I'm going to have to stop. I'm going to get hungry. I'm going to need to stretch. My dad has already told me he plans on leaving at 5 in the morning. My butt is going to be asleep at that time. So, yeah, it's all going to be good. I've already started thinking about how I'm going to pack everything. But, yeah, I'm just ready to get down there. And I guess this is all for that video. I hope you found this interesting. I hope this was helpful. For anyone watching in the future wanting to do the Disney College program and you are currently applied and you're waiting, just hang in there, be strong. Like, it's gonna be okay. And even if you don't get in, like, don't beat yourself up about it. There's so many people who don't get in every single year, to be quite honest. And I just look at things of like, this may not be my time, but I'm not a person to give up. Like, if I don't get in, I'm gonna apply again. Like, period. Like, if I was not to have gotten in for this next coming semester, I would be applying in the fall for the spring semester. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun. I will leave a little, like, square thing up somewhere of my DCP tag where I talk and do the whole DCP tag of the typical questions. Please subscribe down to my channel below. If you're interested in Disney College program, I would definitely be filming as much as I possibly can while I'm there. And I hope you like this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!